Good day, everyone. I am Alina Lynn G. Policarpio, together with my partner, Ms. Sheena Mariel B. Manzulin. Today, we will be discussing with you all the cybercrime investigation and cybercrime warrant incident response, handling and admissibility of digital evidence. Learning objectives. So later on, we will understand cybercrime warrant, describe the incident response process, demonstrate proper handling of digital evidence, explain the admissibility of digital evidence, and apply knowledge in real-life situation. So in today's digital world, many crimes are committed using computer, mobile phones, and the internet. Because of this, law enforcement must follow specific legal procedures to investigate this crime properly. At the same time, they must protect the rights and the privacy of the individuals. So these topics are very important for us to know because they ensure that investigations are both effective and lawful. So let's start with cybercrime warrant. So cybercrime warrant are special court-issued order that allows authorities to access, monitor, and examine digital data. Since digital data information is private, these warrants are strictly regulated and require probable cause, prevent abuse of authority, ensure fair legal process, and make digital evidence valid in court. So there are four main types of cybercrime warrant. First is the warrant to disclose computer data or the WDCD. This is used to require a person or company, like an internet service provider, to provide information. Like for example, if a crime was committed using an IP address, authorities can request the identity of the users behind that IP address. Second is the warrant to intercept computer data or the WICD. This allows real-time monitoring of communication. Like for example, authorities can monitor message or email of a suspect during an ongoing cybercrime. And this type of cybercrime warrant is very sensitive because it involves privacy. So strict court approval is required. Third is the warrant to search, seize and examine computer data or the WSSECD. So this allows authority to search for devices, seize them, and examine their content. For example, confiscating a suspect laptops and analyzing the file inside. Lastly, warrant to examine computer data or the WECD. This is used when the device is already in custody and the authorities just need permission to analyze the data. Like for example, authorities seize a suspect's cell phone during an arrest. Before checking message, photos, or files, they must first get the AWECD to legally examine the seized gadget or content. Overall, all these warrant must clearly state what the data is being obtained and must always be approved by the judge. Next, let's discuss the incident response. Incident response is the step by step process of handling a cyber incident or attack. The goal is to minimize damage, identify problem, and recover quickly. So here we have the six phase of the incident response process for the proper handling of a cyber attack. The first phase is the preparation. This means being ready before any incident happens. The organization should have trained their personnel, secure the proper tools, and have a clear plan to prepare. The second phase is identification. Here, the goal is to detect whether a cyber incident is actually happening. For example, unusual system behavior or unauthorized access. The third phase is containment. This involved limiting the spread of the attack, for example, disconnecting infected system from the network to prevent future damage. The fourth phase is eradication. This is where the root cause of attack is removed. such as deleting malware or fixing vulnerabilities. The fifth phase is recovery. Systems are restored to normal operation, and data is recovered from backup if needed. And lastly, the lesson learned. After the incident, the organization reviews what happened and improve its security to prevent future attacks.
So now, let's move on to the handling of digital evidence. Digital evidence is a very sensitive because it can be easily altered, deleted, or corrupted. That's why proper procedure must be followed. So, so here are the four steps of handling digital evidence. The first one is step is seizure. Authorities must legally take devices using a valid warrant. They must be secure the scene and identify all possible sources of digital evidence such as laptops, phones, or storage devices. The second step is collection. Instead of using the original device, investigators create a forensic copy or image. This ensures that the original data remains untouched. The third step is preservation. Evidence must be protected from any changes. Tools like write breakers are used, and the chain of custody must be maintained. This means recording who handled the evidence at all times. Lastly, the fourth step is documentation. Every action must be recorded including at the time, date, and tools used. This ensures transparency and credibility. So finally, let's discuss admissibility of digital evidence. So even if evidence is collected, it will only be accepted in court if it meets certain requirements. And there are five types of admissibility of digital evidence. The first is relevant. The evidence must be related to the case. Second is authenticity. It must be proven that the device is genuine and come from the reliable source. The third is integrity. The evidence must be not altered. This is usually verified using hash values. The fourth one is reliability. The methods and tools used must be standard and trustworthy. And lastly, the chain of custody. There must be complete record of the how the evidence was handled from the collection of presentation in court. Overall, if any of these are not followed, the evidence must be rejected.
Overall, we've learned that a first cybercrime warrant is a legal permission to access digital data, which means, as I said earlier, that the law enforcement cannot just access someone's computer, phone, or online accounts anytime they want. They must first get permission from the court through a cybercrime warrant. Second, incident response. How authority handles cyber incidents step by step, which again, as I said while ago, it refers to the organized process of dealing with cybercrime or cyber attack. So instead of reacting randomly, authorities follow steps like identifying the problem, containing it, removing the threat, and the restoring system. Then third, evidence handling. How digital evidence is safely collected and preserved. As they said a while ago, digital evidence must be handled carefully because it can be easily changed or deleted. Admissibility, lastly, rules that determine if evidence can be used in court. Again, as discussed earlier, even if evidence is found, it doesn't automatically mean can be used in court. So it must meet certain requirements like being relevant, authentic, and unaltered. And it must be handled properly from start to finish. So thank you everyone. Have a blessed and good day.